Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. I'm drinking my Smashing Warrior because I've got all the smash off bottles here, so I thought I'd better have one. The smash off bottles are arriving, so there's quite a few here. I need to little bags with them. Sati even gave me a plastic bucket full of bottles. So yeah, there they be. So the smash off has come to an end. Well, it's come to an end of brewing. It's now time to split up all the bottles and pass all the bottles back out to their respective brewers, get everybody to vote on their top beer, on their top rankings, and then combine all those votes together to find out the winner. Last weekend I went to the Pacific Beer Expo and took my camera along and got a little bit of footage. There's some great beers there, some great beers. I didn't get a whole heap of footage, mainly because I was busy sort of talking to people and drinking, and it's really noisy there, so I did get a little bit. The main reason for going to the Pacific Beer Expo for me was to taste Braden's beer. Now, Braden was the winner of the Battle of the Black IPA, and his beer was being launched as a pre-launch at the Pacific Beer Expo. So here he is. Good, mate. The inaugural pour, eh?
Oh, it's the second drop at your tip.
Yeah. Hell yeah! On your beer.
I'm actually excited because it's actually black.
Oh, that's good, eh?
Yeah, and I had a taste of it beforehand, so...
It was a good beer. It was a really nice, crisp IPA. Well done. You did a great job, Braden. I know you have your beer launch this week at the Fork and Brewer, the official beer launch. So I'm looking forward to seeing that pop out on taps around the place. Good stuff. But some of the beers there, some of the other beers there that were at the Pacific Beer Expo, there were some pretty high ABV beers there. There were some low ones as well. I went for the low ones. I was after some saisons, some wheat beers. I was after a sessionable summer beer. That's what I was after. One of the sessional summer beers that stood out heaps to me actually had a high ABV, but you couldn't tell. Okay, you couldn't tell. It was Funk Estate's Pinky and the Grain, which was a pink peppercorn saison at 8.8%. Far out, it was nice. You couldn't taste that alcohol at all. It's just, woo, it's just like, woo, go on again. Woo, have another one of those. Woo, this is pretty good stuff. But yeah, no, it was an outstanding beer. I would say, out of all the beers I drank, that one would be the best. Definitely the best beer. There was another beer there that is noteworthy, or actually there's quite a few beers that are noteworthy and need their due respects. But I won't go over all of them. You know, there were hemp beers there that had just a little bit of THC, just a little bit, not enough to worry about. Just, you know, just enough for the hemp flavour to come through, but not enough for you to want to race off to the service station with munchies afterwards. So rest assured, we weren't mixing drugs and alcohol. But there was one by Garage Project. Garage Project did Weasel Carpe Da, which was coffee chocolate stout that was so creamy it was like a chocolate milkshake. It was absolutely wonderful. Don't know what the ABV is on it. It wasn't marked down with ABV. And the interesting thing about it was made with civet coffee beans. Now they're the coffee beans that have been eaten and crapped out by Indonesian jungle cats. Yeah, so these are coffee beans that have been digested by a big fuck off pussycat and pooped out. Then some Indonesian guy has got the job of going through the jungle and picking out the beans out of the cat poo. Washing those beans, hope to fucking wash the beans. Washing those beans and selling them. So, the Garage Project's Weasel Carpe Da, its ingredient had those in it. Made it taste bloody nice. Yeah, you know, interesting. Interesting things. You know, maybe, would you have drunk it if you had known that the beans had been pooped out by a cat? Maybe not. Oh, But big shout out to Dominic from Hashigo Sake for putting the Pacific Beer Expo on. Hashigo Sake organise it every year, and they do a great job. It's not funded by the council or anything like that. It should be funded by the council next year. Council funded Oktoberfest, they gave money for that, but you know, they should fund for the Pacific Beer Expo as well. So any councillors out there watching this in the Wellington region that want to get good brownie points next year, put some funding in for the Pacific Beer Expo, would you, instead of the Oktoberfest, which is really just a binge drinking fest. Yeah. I did, however, manage to get a chance to talk to Andy DeChasse. Now, he is the head brewer from Renaissance Brewing, which is a boutique craft brewery in Blenheim. And he is American, okay. He was trained as a brewer in California, and he came to New Zealand to follow a winery path. But fell back into beer, and I'm glad he did. He makes some really, really interesting beers. So here's a quick little bit from Andy, just talking about what he thinks the Pacific Beer Expo means to him.
I'm Andy from Renaissance Brewing, the head brewer there. We're a small brewery on the top of the South Island, the major metropolis of Blenheim. We're over here for the Pacific Beer Expo in Wellington, which is a great time. It's a nice place to meet the public, meet the brewers, and to kind of release some new and experimental beers. There's all kinds of weird, wonderful stuff here today. There's mango beers, blueberry. We've released a barrel-aged fruit grisette. There's porters with chipotle chilies, and what else was it? Chocolate and orange peel. So yeah, it's a really nice time to get together, meet the public, talk to a few of the other small brewers, and release something a bit unusual and wonderful out there for the people to see.
Also, big shout out to Aidan from Balin's Brewery, who showed me a ticket to go, which was great. Cheers, Aidan, much appreciated. So, what else has been happening here? Apart from the smash off, getting ready to do the swap and everything like that, and get the votes done. Dr. Rudy's Pills is still bubbling away in the fermenter. It is coming up to 20 days. 20 days, far out. And I think I've got it planned just right. The last keg that I have in the kegerator is the Smashing Warrior, which is going to be bottled up very, 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 very soon to go with the swap. And then the kegerator will have nothing in it, which means I can take Dr. Rudy's Pills out, which hopefully will be finished, and I can put it into secondary for its 2-week lagering process without it being interrupted. By that stage I'll probably have something else that's coming out of the fermenter. I'll have the new fermenting fridge in by then, because I have got the collar around it screwed in. I just need to redo the brackets for the door to hang on. I'm rebuilding the fan enclosure for the evaporator, and I've regassed it. Well, I didn't regas it, my mate that's a refrigerationeer regassed it. So remember, if you're going to regas a fridge, please get a qualified professional to regas it for you. And found the leak. Bonus. Bigger bonus, fixed the leak. The leak was only in the little valve. So this, the condenser on this, for the pipes going in for the gas, instead of them being crimped and welded shut, it's got little pin valves like bike valves on it, so that you can regas the fridge. But anyway, that valve was a little bit loose. Excuse me, was a little bit loose and just needed tightening up, and it stopped the leak. So it's been regassed. We turned it back on just quickly, just to make sure that we could feel the temperature, and it's going to work like a charm. Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. So I'm going to whip in SDC 1000 as its temperature controller, and I'll build that all into the fridge and blah blah blah. Get it moved in, get the old fridge out. We're good. I'd like to just do a shout out to Jason Toes from Ghost Dog Brewery. He's a new Homebrew Wednesday. He's from Canada, and he's doing some interesting stuff. He's jumping into some brewing. He's got a nice bit of kit there. I think looking at his video today, he had about 5 carboys sitting there bubbling away. So he's jumping in and getting quite a few beers. I think he's been brewing for a while. But he's doing some interesting stuff. He was talking to me today about cold steeping and what people's views were about cold steeping and whether they'd done it before. Cold steeping is a way to try and reduce the astringency in your stouts by just taking those specially kilned grains and steeping them to get their flavours out. But yeah, anyway, there'll be a link down in my comments below, so go and check out Jason's channel and give him a thumbs up, give him a subscribe, etc, etc. Anyway, on a finishing note, I also managed to get 2 beers into Braden's Monster Mash. Braden was the guy that you saw at Pacific Beer Expo serving me a beer. That was his black IPA that won the Battle of the Black Challenge, as I said before. Anyway, Braden is running a competition, a beer competition with a difference. It's to be held on Halloween, and the beers are meant to be outrageous and nasty and evil and rah-rah, Halloween themed beers sort of thing. So he's got some really nice prizes up for grabs. Actually, there's a bug. And some really interesting beers. Kiri, who's currently over in Indonesia chasing wildcats to get coffee beans out of their poo. No, he's not doing that, he's just lounging on a beach or something. He came up with Hannibal Ale. What's that? Hannibal Ale. It's brewed, it's bottled, it's ready to go, and it contains liver and fafa beans, yeah, and Chianti. So Hannibal Lecter, blah blah blah. So he's made a beer based on that. That would be interesting. But liver? Well, I suppose we drank a beer that had coffee beans pooped out of an Indonesian cat. So what's wrong with liver? Yeah. And here's the 2 beers that I put in. Our first one here is Kaliki Masala Chai Pale Ale. That's just my simple smash beer that I added some masala chai tea to it. So I did a tea and added it at the end after it was all fermented out to pull those flavours in. It was a little bit of an afterthought for a brew. I wanted to come up with something that was a little bit different. And yeah, it is definitely different. It separates in the bottle, so all the sort of chai floats down at the bottom. The spicy bit floats back up into the beer again, and the beer is nice and clear. So if you give the bottle a gentle shake, it all mixes back together again. I've tasted it with along with Dan, the Tongan King, and yeah, it's pretty good beer actually. It doesn't taste too bad, but yeah, it's all about Halloween and making something just a little bit different. And I also did Melusa Domestica, which is my apple cider, my New England apple cider, my 13%er, but it's just been dyed up with a dark blood red colour just to make it look a little bit different. And Melusa Domestica, for those that don't know Latin, is Latin for apple. Anyway, that's about me. I better get on with packing all these boxes together for all the beers. And thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for buying your hops from Yakima Valley Hops, proud sponsor of Homebrew Wednesdays. But cheers, have yourself another one. See, real crystal. Ha, just kidding.